Embark on an epic journey through time and space with Horizon in the middle of nowhere. In a post-apocalyptic world, humanity's dream of interstellar exploration is shattered by an impenetrable barrier, forcing a return to Earth's ruins. Witness the survival of Japan and the birth of pocket dimensions amid chaos. Fueled by the enigmatic testament, the people strive to escape Earth's grasp. Fast forward to 1648, aboard the mobile city ship Musashi. Amidst political intrigue and impending danger, Tori Ai, leader of Musashi Ariadist Academy's Supreme Federation, rallies students on a daring mission to reclaim their homeland, uncover the secrets of a world teetering on the horizon. In 1457 of the Testament era, a catastrophic event shakes Japan. A beam of light pierces the sky, causing land to fall from above, resulting in widespread destruction. Nearly 2 centuries later, on the flying ship Musashi, a girl sings near the Okutama cemetery, while somewhere else, a young man smiles at the calm sky. Musashi Ariadist Academy starts classes on the Flying City, Class 3 Plum, guided by the teacher, Makiko Oriadorai. As Makiko finalizes the attendance list, she expresses frustration about an irresponsible boy ruling the academy. Tao Saint Neshinbara, a student, points out that this has been the case for 160 years and Musashi, once dominant, now bends to the will of other nations, especially the Testament Union. The class gears up for the day's activity, chasing Makiko across the flying city. The goal is to hit her before she reaches Shinagawa, with successful hits earning students 5 free absences. Chaos ensues as Makiko encounters students, leading to spells and explosions that disrupt the peaceful Blue Thunder store as the ship's robot captain and President Tadatsugu Sakai observe the unfolding events. Makiko's attention shifts when a large archdemon who's the criminal she is after and effortlessly defeats. Thinking of postponing the practical course, Makiko encounters an unexpected student, Tori Ai, who arrives with a mysterious box. Tori's late entrance sparks curiosity, but his reason for skipping class infuriates her, and matters worsen when Tori's inappropriate actions lead to his declaration that he will go out with Horizon, someone thought to have died 10 years ago. The shocking announcement leaves the class in silence as Tori prepares to face the world for his plan. Blinded by rage, Makiko delivers a powerful kick, launching Tori through the gang's outer gate. In a distant future, humanity, once godlike, returns to Earth due to continuous warfare. The Divine States become the only hospitable places, and the Far East's warriors relive historical eras in a quest for world domination. The Musashi travels through the Sagarmatha corridor in stealth mode. Later, Masazumi is found unconscious near the Blue Thunder snack shop and is assisted by a girl named P1 Second. The shop owner provides Masazumi with a meal, and they discuss her role as vice president of the student council. In Musashi Ariadist Academy, Makiko starts a history lesson on the Harmonic Unification War as Suzu explains the conflict between the Divine States and the Harmonic Divine States, leading to the Harmonic Unification War. Tori suggests a sudden party which Makiko allows, and Tori proposes playing Truth or Dare. However, Tori faces punishment for not answering questions and is tasked with stripping in front of the class. Meanwhile, a man named Yoshino and a girl named Azuma arrive at Musashi Ariadist Academy, hearing the commotion from the nearby classroom. Outside the school, Masazumi, accompanied by P1 Second, visits her mother's grave where P1 Second sings a song, triggering memories for Masazumi, who shares her painful past, explaining her family's exile from Mikawa to Musashi. As Musashi exits the Sagarmatha corridor, stealth mode is disabled. Masazumi and P1 Second observe the approaching territory of Mikawa as a ship bearing the Matsudaira family symbol joins Musashi, and Lord Matanabu Matsudaira greets everyone. In Musashi Ariadist War Trainee School, Tao Saint holds a student council and chancellor meeting to discuss helping Tori confess his feelings for Horizon before he starts proposing a party and suggesting a unique method to confess. Meanwhile, President Sakai and Masazumi arrive at Mikawa's checkpoint number 2. Masazumi decides to investigate Remorse Way, and wonders if Tori is willing to risk everything to change the world, reflecting on societal dynamics. At Shin Nagoya Castle's central unification reactor, Matanabu Matsudaira prepares for fireworks, leaving what they're for uncertain. On the day when the Musashi travels to Mikawa, Tomo Asama begins her day at the Asama Shrine in Okutama, reflecting on the unchanging nature of her routine. In the afternoon, Kimi AI appears unusually thoughtful outside Musashi Ariatis Academy, and Azuma discovers he shares a dormitory with a girl named Miriam Paku. In Mikawa, President Sakai encounters fellow Divine Kings Yasumasa Sakakibara and Tadakatsu Honda, accompanied by a girl named Fudeo Honda. Later, in the residential district of Tama, Suzu, Naomasa, Adele, and Tomo shop for a party as they witness an aerial race and discuss the absence of certain individuals who seem preoccupied with Tori. Adele mentions that everyone is choosing Tori over watching fireworks, leading to a discussion about his efforts to enter Remorse Way. Margit is delivering items across town, and Malga is engaged in an aerial game while they discuss Tori's lack of progress in Remorse Way. Nasazumi arrives and, as Margit joins an aerial race, receives an eroge box for Tori's party while Margit seems worried for Tori and Kimi. Azuma enters his new dormitory room, where Miriam sets ground rules for cohabitation as Tori remains stuck near Remorse Way, trying to make progress. Kimi anxiously waits, and Makiko joins Tori, sharing an intimate moment with Kimi observing as she expresses support for him as Kimi notices Masazumi in the forest. Masazumi heads to the high-end spiritual shrine and eventually reaches Remorse Way, encountering her father in a carriage. He storms through with an unsettling look, takes the eroge, and invites Masazumi to the party before Kanishi explains Tori's connection to Horizon Ariatis' death. That night, the ships of Mikawa and KPA, Italia meet and the Takebanas discuss their responsibilities, and though peace seems stable, looming forces threaten it. At 7:30 p.m., Class 3 Plum begins ghost hunting, sharing stories of supernatural events as the world approaches its end, making groups explore the school before explosions occur in the library, causing chaos but no injuries before Shirajiro demands an explanation from Tori, while Malga and Margit fight ghost battles, resulting in school damage. In Mikawa, the day starts with Fudeo Honda starting her training early, while elsewhere, a lively boy prepares for the day as an automaton sings. Later, Tadakatsu Honda, his daughter Fudeo, and Yasumasa Sakakibara celebrate Tadatsugu Sakai's arrival at a diner, reminiscing about their student council days under Matanabu Matsudaira's eternal presidency. Sakai proposes that Fudeo enrolls in Musashi Ariatis Academy, but her father rejects the idea due to her crucial role in the Far East's military. Tadakatsu explains that Fudeo has the task of clearing the path to a key for Musashi's voyage as a maid named Kazuno joins them, serving as a caretaker with combat skills. Kazuno interrupts the celebration, saying it's time for certain preparations, and the Honda family heads off. Meanwhile, Tadakatsu bids farewell to Fudeo as she embarks on Prefecture Highway 79 to Aki while Kazuno reports a Tres Espada Inquisition warship sighting, and Tadakatsu proceeds with the plan. The night marks the beginning of the attack on Tres Espada. At Tadatsugu's residence, he receives blank papers from Sakakibara, causing shock. He rushes to Sakakibara's house and discovers a two-boundary seal and a moonlit message revealing the words Genesis Project. In Musashi Ariatis Academy, chaos ensues during Tori's ghost hunting party before an explosion is seen in the distance. Tadatsugu learns of the explosion, encountering Tadakatsu and Kazuno on his way back, and reveals the coming meltdown of the lay reactor in Shin Nagoya Castle, part of the Genesis Project, threatening Mikawa, KPA, Italia, and Tres Espada as Sakai threatens to intervene, but Tadakatsu advises him to leave. The pillar of light is visible to everyone, with Tres Espada deploying forces to slow down Shin Nagoya Castle's meltdown, and Kazuno engages in a fierce battle, buying time for the impending meltdown. Fudeo considers being neutral as Manishige and Jin rush toward Mikawa while Masazumi and P1 second head to Blue Thunder, and Tadakatsu prepares for his last stand. Kazuno, using her gravity control, holds off the enemy gods of war attempting to prevent the meltdown of Shin Nagoya Castle. Tadakatsu Honda, wielding the powerful Tanbakiri spear, joins her and swiftly deals with the infantry. Their success is interrupted when an unseen attack splits Kazuno in half as a new enemy. Godspeed Garcia de Cevallos introduces himself as an ally of Tres Espada while Manishige Takebana, one of the 8 great dragon lords, engages in a battle with Tadakatsu. Manishige discloses his mission to prevent the meltdown of Shin Nagoya Castle by destroying a reactor which Tadakatsu, loyal to Lord Matanabu Matsudaira, opposes. Despite an earlier attack that Kazuno survives due to her mechanical body, she clings to Tadakatsu as they prepare for the impending clash before the gates of Shin Nagoya Castle open. Manishige questions Matanabu's plan, leading to a revelation that he aims to prevent the apocalypse by gathering 9 mortal sin armaments, including a new one tied to the sin of jealousy within Horizon Ariadust, now reborn as P1 second before panic ensues. Manishige to resume combat with Tadakatsu, who leverages the full potential of the Tonbakiri. Despite losing consciousness, Manishige activates the Lipe Cataslipsy's potent ability, targeting the ether column in the sky. In a final move, Kazuno urges Tadakatsu to use her as a shield, diverting the deadly attack as Tadakatsu triumphs as the Lipe Cataslipsy's beam veers off course while Jin Takabana retrieves Manishige, declining further conflict with Tadakatsu, who entrusts his weapon to Jin for his heir, marching alone towards Shin Nagoya Castle. Tori, Masazumi, and P1 second meet at Blue Thunder, only to be captured by KPA. Italia's soldiers as Musashi falls under KPA. Italia's rule, witnessing Mikawa's destruction while Lord Matanabu and his automaton army fall. P1 second surrenders peacefully. At 6 a.m. on April 21, 1648, P1 second, now recognized as Horizon Ariadust, is held accountable for Lord Matanabu's death and sentenced to commit suicide in 12 hours. Horizon Ariadust is held captive in the Inquisition ship of the Testament Union in Mikawa. Meanwhile, Jin Takabana cares for her husband Manishige in the ship's infirmary, updating him on recent events. An hour later, evacuation begins, and Musashi Ariadust Academy President Sakai, feeling detained, is released on bail negotiated by the Okutama ship's captain while Sakai encounters Galileo and Pope President Innocentius, revealing a long-standing conflict as Innocentius predicts victory in forcing Musashi into war with Pa. Oda opposed by Sakai. In Musashi Ariadust Academy, the 3-plum class discusses Horizon's authority over Mikawa, dependent on her avoiding the Testament Union's suicide sentence as political powers, including King Yoshinao's, are stripped, leading to a lack of agreement. Heidi outlines after effects for defying the Testament Union, and Shirajiro suggests aligning with Masazumi to secure supplies, addressing Tori's situation. During an essay writing activity on What I Want to Do, the class watches a live feed of a handover between KPA, Italia and Fudeo Honda's forces, and despite a Far East resource shortage, Manishige hands over the Tonbakiri to the Takabanas. Shirajiro proposes a special student council meeting, pending Masazumi's attendance, with a vote of no confidence if she doesn't join. In the Inquisition ship, Horizon changes back into regular clothes, expressing a preference for a snack shop over her sovereign status, while Masazumi learns about Shirajiro's plan to pass a vote of no confidence against him. Gaining allies in Nate and Naomasa, Azuma and Miriam deal with an unusual situation in the student dormitories, caring for a young ghost. Miriam questions Azuma, suspecting he's hiding facts, including his status as the crown prince, and decides not to involve themselves for now, believing in their classmates' stand for Horizon's fate. Outside Musashi Ariadust Academy, the 3-plum class gathers for a special meeting. Notably, Masazumi is joined by allies Nate and Naomasa, who explain their choice to test Musashi's capabilities in rescuing Horizon. Following school rules, only students can address political issues, so Masazumi, Nate, and Naomasa represent the Testament Union, while the rest of 3-plum represent Musashi as instructor Mitsuki Sanyu sets the rules of 3 people on each side, and the side winning at least 2 of 3 matches will determine Horizon's fate. The first match begins, thanks to Heidi's deal with the engineering club, allowing them to fight without property damage. With a strategic move, Shiro knocks out Jizuru Suzaku, securing victory, and Naomasa gives in, asking Shiro's request for the engineering club, a simple plea for Musashi to continue flying. Nate steps in as the next contender, questioning Musashi's ability to persuade its knights without a sovereign as the class chooses Suzumukai as the symbol to protect, shocking Nate. Recognizing her duty to protect, Nate inadvertently loses the match, and despite the setback, Musashi keeps the social standing of its knights. The final battle unfolds between Masazumi and Tori, a debate to determine Horizon's fate. In the Ikumaru, Innocentius observes the events, confident in the Testament Union's advantage as the debate begins, and Tori, surprisingly, suggests giving up on saving Horizon, leaving Masazumi shocked, who anticipated his support for the mission. Tori explains that he's going first due to rules and the threat of Makiko's sword, and gravely admits his inability to save Horizon and seeks guidance from Masazumi. Under pressure, Masazumi discusses the benefits of rescuing Horizon. Tori presents questions from Musashi's residents, including concerns about potential casualties in a war, and Masazumi acknowledges the possibility of deaths even without war due to Musashi's food supply issues, so he brings up Masanobu Honda's question about opposing the Testament Union's order for Horizon's suicide. In the Ikumaru, Innocentius becomes intrigued by Masanobu's challenging question. Masazumi, initially unsettled by her father's remarks, reveals a prepared cheat sheet. Feeling the weight of her stance, Tori encourages her to speak, and Adele, at Tori's request, presents a plea from brown algae creatures residing in sewer water, seeking Horizon's rescue. Masazumi, affected by the appeal, decides to voice her support for Horizon's rescue. She argues that Horizon is wrongly blamed for the destruction of Mikawa, emphasizing her lack of involvement at the time and the informal succession at Itsukishima Shrine. Masazumi suggests incorporating Mikawa into Musashi to resolve the crisis before Innocentius interrupts the debate, challenging Masazumi's standpoint. He says the testament allows multiple interpretations, defending the plan to make Horizon a martyr, and that correcting errors in the testament is the Union's duty, while Jin and Munishige Takabana observe the debate, discussing Innocentius's strategy and expressing concerns about the limitations on their forces compared to Musashi's. In the face of Innocentius's arguments, Masazumi proposes conditions for an agreement with the Union, involving financial support for settlements, protesting the informal succession of Horizon, and protecting her using any means necessary. Innocentius, calling her stance an askew belief, offers conditional concession but hints at the Olos Phonos, a vital tool for preventing apocalypse, stored inside Horizon. He suggests Lord Matanabu's intention to conquer the Far East, predicting war if Musashi pursues Horizon. Innocentius questions the Far East sentiment, leading to Masazumi reaffirming Musashi's commitment to save Horizon and proposing the return of the mortal sin armaments to her. Fudeo intervenes to protect Masazumi from Galileo's attack. Before the situation escalates, King Yoshinao and his queen step in, and despite Yoshinao's plea, Innocentius refuses to withdraw Galileo, revealing that Yoshinao's plan is to showcase Musashi's military strength by defeating Fudeo, who possesses a prototype mortal sin armament, as Makiko declares the Masazumi-Tori debate a tie due to Innocentius's interference before Galileo retreats as ordered, resulting in a 1-win, 1-loss, and a tie for both sides, meaning a tiebreaker is necessary, with Fudeo representing the Testament Union. Facing a shortage of fighters, Kimi steps in to face Fudeo, and Tori proposes a wager with Yoshinao. If Kimi wins, Tori wants Yoshinao's kingship, surprising him, so he confirms that he aims to reclaim everything Horizon lost. Despite Fudeo's rapid attacks, Kimi remains unharmed, revealing a unique defense based on her own discretion, and activates a spell, creating a defensive barrier with spell cards. In a flashback, Kimi helps Tori overcome grief after Horizon's death, using unusual methods to reignite his emotions. Fudeo lands a hit, drawing blood, but Kimi explains that only those she wishes can harm her and activates another spell. Despite Fudeo's relentless assaults, Kimi wins, causing her to kneel and apologize. Innocentius acknowledges Kimi's victory, and Yoshinao faces a critical decision regarding Musashi's political power, so he restores Supreme Federation and Student Council powers but retains the title of king and appoints Tori and Horizon as viceroys, shocking Innocentius. Innocentius accepts the appointments, leading to discussions at the future peace of Westphalia. Masazumi foresees war within 6 months but remains determined to reach Westphalia, retrieve the mortal sin armaments, and save the world, as Tori, angered by Horizon's coming execution, leads the victorious class forward to rescue Horizon, gaining the support of Class 3 Plum, including Adele, who pledges allegiance to protect her king. They march closer to realizing Tori's childhood wish. Tenzu serves as a distant scout, observing the formation of Tres Espana forces. Adele reassures him that a passing god of war was merely scouting. This, however, reveals Musashi's presence. Meanwhile, Noriki wishes for the assistance of Nate and Naomasa on the battlefield. On the Musashino's bridge, Kimi Ai, King Yoshinao and his wife observe Tao Saint Neshinbara preparing to strategize their rescue mission as Tres Espana's forces are deployed in an open field, utilizing their tercio formation, while 3 ships guard the airspace. The Inquisition warship containing Horizon stays in the land port, surrounded by protective ships. Tao Saint explained Tres Espana's use of the tercio and its defensive advantages to stall Musashi's forces until Horizon's predicted suicide. Adele eventually finds Tori heading towards the enemy gate, who to everyone's shock, sprints directly into enemy lines, prompting the rest of Musashi's forces to do so as well. Tori opens the gates, leading Musashi's forces into a chaotic confrontation with Tres Espana's tercio. Adele, surprisingly unharmed by Tres Espana's cannon fire, plays the role of a shield for the Musashi army, and as the battle intensifies, Tao Saint anticipates more challenges and calls for reinforcements. Under the afternoon sky in Mikawa, Naomasa and Nate Maitsudera gear up for a breakthrough. The Testament Union forces anticipate their move, forming a defensive line. Nate, using her Argentee's chains, disrupt the formation, plowing through enemy lines with destructive force, and searches for Tori amidst the chaos, destroying the enemy army's cannon before rushing towards Tori's location as Naomasa and her Jizuru Suzaku join the battlefield, allowing Tori to focus on his primary objective. The progress of Tori's troops reach Innocentius, making him take action. Activating his Mortal Sin armament, the Stasos Pornea, he instantly defeats Musashi's forces, struggling to breach KPA, Italia's defenses. To counteract this, Tori reveals a secret contract, appointing Tomo Asama as his representative for Asama Shrine, and despite the shocking revelation, Tori, now the Viceroy of Musashi, shared a quarter of the ship's energy with his allies. However, the steep price of constant happiness, with any moment of sadness leading to his death, unsettles those benefiting from his power. Inside the ship where Horizon is detained, a bullet interrupts her reading, triggering concern from her attendant. While Horizon shows no worry about her safety, she decides to end her reading session abruptly. On the Mikawa land ports, Musashi's empowered army breaks through the Testament Union defenses. With Innocentius occupied, Masazumi Honda engages him in a one-on-one duel, lifting the effects of the Stasos Pornea, and Galileo faces Noriki, whose interconnected abilities prove formidable, leading to Galileo's defeat. Masazumi prepares to confront Innocentius, who swiftly returns to the battlefield, claiming victory. Despite this setback, Masazumi manages to suppress the Stasos Pornea as Tres Espana's ships continue to target Musashi, leading Masazumi to contact Fudeo. However, Tao Saint reveals that Fudeo had encountered Manishide's Takabana, who, holding one of Musashi's ships hostage, threatens to fire the Lipe Cataphlipsy unless Tori retreats and Musashi evacuates. Following his decisive victory over Fudeo Honda, he aims the Lipe Cataphlipse at the massive ship, demanding a complete evacuation. Fudeo, recovering from her defeat, emits a resounding roar, recalling the events that led to this confrontation. The Lord of Mikawa's self-destruction, Manishide's defeat by Tadakatsu Honda, and the Testament Union's role in Horizon Ariada's impending demise, Fudeo decides to fight against the events. This approach catches Manishide off guard, and a flurry of attacks secures her victory. Choosing mercy, Fudeo spares Manishide's life, returning his earlier honorable gesture. News of the defeat of the Peerless of the West echoes through Tres Espana's troops, prompting Jin, Manishide's wife, and the forces to retreat. Meanwhile, Masazumi observes the changing tactics of Tres Espana, and Nate and Naomasa return with their missions accomplished, so he decides to help Musashi's troops stationed to protect the Chancellor, while Masazumi assigns Naomasa to another task. The countdown to 6 p.m. begins, and Tori and Horizon remain separated by the disintegration wall. Tori, determined to rescue Horizon, engages in a humorous exchange with her, recalling their interactions as patrons in the Blue Thunder shop. Despite Horizon's decision to end her life for the sake of others, Tori refuses to accept it and proposes to use any means necessary to reclaim what was stolen from her. Tori's impassioned plea inadvertently transforms into a declaration of war, stunning Masazumi as Horizon accepts his proposal, but clarifies that she won't change her decision. When Tori confesses his love, Horizon rejects him, causing shock among onlookers. Despite this, Tori persistently debates with Horizon. The intense exchange leads Horizon to reconsider her decision, and she agrees to go wherever headaches her, albeit with conditions. Suddenly, his hand crosses the disintegration wall, triggering a blinding light before the two are transported to the memory of the day 10 years ago when Horizon died on Remorse Way. In this moment, he recalls the events leading to her death and expresses regret for his past actions. The two share their perspectives, and as their hands clasp together, they are transported back to the present and the disintegration wall crumbles, and Tori and Horizon share a heartfelt embrace. The three-plum class breathes a sigh of relief as Horizon Ariadist, now an automaton known as P1 Second, reunites with Tori AI for the first time. To formalize P1 Second enrollment into Musashi Ariadist Academy, Tori presents her with an official certificate so she accepts the invitation to join the primary academy in the Far East, and Masazumi reinforces her status as a student under the Musashi Ariadist Academy's Student Council and Supreme Federation. Innocentius, witnessing Musashi's retreat commanded by Naomasa, decides to escape, but Tori decides to pursue him. P1 Second advises leaving the Stasos Pornea behind temporarily, and as they board a Musashi derrick ship, Innocentius, claiming P1 Second enrollment is unofficial until she boards Musashi, fires upon them, forcing evasive maneuvers so Tori signals for another chance to board, and Nate uses her abilities to reel him in P1 Second and swiftly. The Ikumaru chases after the derrick ship, vowing relentless pursuit, and despite Mikawa's security core interference damaging it, it attempts to collide with Musashi and Fudeo Honda's intervention prevents the collision. But Ikumaru resorts to an ether cannon attack. Tau Saint decides to use P1 Second and the Lipe cataflips to counter the threat. Hoisted by the derrick ship, P1 Second and Tori prepare to unleash the Lipe cataflips' normal drive against the Ikumaru. The Mortal Sin armament clashes with the ether cannon, depleting the required ether for the attack. Amidst the defeated factions regrouping, Manishi's Takabana is carried away, while Innocentius watches bitterly as Musashi departs from Mikawa. Later that night, Makiko Oriyadorai and President Tadatsugu Sakai discuss recent events under the Musashi's trees, and their conversation is interrupted by a Nikaiou crest and the arrival of an ironclad ship belonging to Pa. Oda's Five Great Peaks. Tori and P1 Second are found sleeping in Blue Thunder, and P1 Second sings the Song of Passage. 3 weeks later, on May 14, 1648, Manishiage is dismissed from Tres Espana's first special agent position. The Musashi is spotted near Tres Espana's domain, Shimonosuke, and Class 3 Plum faces new enemies, including a batting specialist and God of War controller as they enter gravitational navigation mode to escape Tres Espana's airspace. Thanks for joining us on this exhilarating journey through the horizon in the middle of nowhere universe. If you enjoyed this cosmic adventure, don't forget to hit the like button and share your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe for more immersive explorations into anime. Click that notification bell to stay tuned. Safe travels, and see you in the next adventure.